if the sight of other people
Yo, dog. First Twitch stream. I don't know how any of this technology works. The interwebs is a collection of tubes and vacuums. I don't know how this shit works. If you guys can hear me, try to indicate to me. If you guys can see me, try to indicate to me. I'm trying this new technology out, but I'm trying to hit the ground running. On the literal second best of all days, on this Wednesday morning, I'm going to try to weekly stream some of my work from my workstation. Today, we're doing some airbrushing. I've got a couple little guys. I wanted to get their airbrushing up to the level that it needs to be so I can start doing the details. If you guys have been following along with the Infinity project, you'll know that I've been doing a lot of blue lately. I've been doing a lot of Vallejo colors, doing a lot of airbrushing, a lot of tracing, aka fucking edge highlighting, the worst. But these Infinity models are actually low detail. A lot of people think that they're really high detail models. They're actually no, fucking. There's no detail. It's really smooth panels, very subtle details. So you have to like nurture the details out much more. Whereas GW kits are just the most detailed. So you can use washes and dry brush techniques. You can use every technique under the sun. And a GW model is going to look good because of the details that's in the sculpt. Infinity is going to look like a pile of steaming shit if you can't fucking trace it. If you can't highlight it up. So that's the unfortunate truth of the matter. Oh, got my first boy over here. Frago10. Thank you for indicating that you can hear me, my brother. So I'm going to start this stream off. So obviously you got the Yo Dog Cam, aka My Ugly Mug, and we got the models right here. Also, let me know in the comments like if this is coming in clear, if it's getting hiccup. I'm trying a lot of my technologies right now. I'm actually streaming at a very low resolution and digitally upscaling it through Stream to try to eliminate any like jitter, any pixelization, and any pauses. We're losing a little bit of detail, but if you think the detail is good enough, then I won't worry about it in the next stream. But if you think you guys want to see more resolution, we can experiment with that next week. Anyway, so my first step here is these two little robot guys right here. They are little Panosia robot dudes. I've already painted them Prussian blue, which is a color that we've used on the Infinity project here many times. This is a sick ass fucking color. So they've just been base coated with that color. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this Prussian blue and we're going to mix it 50-50 with this blue green right here. And we're going to do that with the airbrush. We're going to make the gangster gumbo. You guys have seen it before. So obviously this is my Iwata Eclipse right here. This is the airbrush that gets the job done. This is how I keep it. Typically I keep it with no back plate. I want quick access to the needle. I want to be able to come back and forth. I want to be able to clear the needle. I want to be able to back the needle out. I want to do all the things. So obviously I'm going to turn this shit on right now. I've never tried streaming with my compressor on, so we'll see what the volume ratio is to this. But I do have a pretty quiet compressor. See if I can ninja down. Got it. Hopefully that's not too bad. Let me know. Let me know if that the jitter of that fucking compressor is overwhelming. If so, in the future I'll try to not airbrush. But anyway, so the way I do the gangster gumbo, let me click over. Okay, you can see my airbrush right here. I'll start off with a little Vallejo flow improver. Couple drops up in there. Give these bottles a shake, as it were. This blue-green likes to come out, so gotta be careful. Just drop some up in chill. That simple. Up, up. Followers left and right. Get some of this Prussian blue up in here. Kind of roughly the same mix right there. I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a paintbrush out of the old paint pot. Mix this bitch up. Like so. Give it a good swirl. Fucking dump that shit in there. Now I'm going to squirt a little water on top. And essentially, this is my trick to getting non-airbrush paints airbrush ready. So now this is the linchpin of the gangster gumbo, called the backflow technique. Gonna cover the tip. Gonna let some air through, and it's gonna percolate. This is totally swirling all the colors together. And like we started with that flow improver and added some water on top. Now that's all mixing together. And we should have something that works. Now, so this is what I'm talking about, how I like to keep my needle clear. Now I'm pushing it around because I know it's struggling to get in there, you know, because the paint I put in there is still not airbrush ready. So now I'm just kind of pushing my needle back and forth. Gonna percolate a little more. I'm gonna check it. I don't like that. You know, that's not good enough. So that means I need more water. And that's kind of the trick, man. Like with non-airbrush paints, you gotta go heavy on the water sometimes. You know, until you get what you want. I'm also gonna clear the tip with a rag. Let's see what we got here. See, that's what I'm talking about, backing the tip out. Still not entirely happy. Like I said, I'm gonna just keep watering it down. This time I'm gonna drop a little bit more flow improver in there, and a couple more drops of water. I'm gonna reach for my my lucky paintbrush again. Stir this bitch up. Get it all in there. Let's percolate. See, what I'm trying to avoid here is the speckles. I'm getting a lot more speckles than I want. So also my tip is getting a little clogged up. You can see in there, there's like all this dry paint in there. So there is a simple trick to that, and that technique is as simple as grabbing a paintbrush even and just swirling it around in there. Try to get that bullshit out, and even blowing air. Okay, I think we have a good starting point here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on my trusty left glove, my good Jackson style, because when you paint 8 hours a day, you just get tired of cleaning paint off your hands. You know what I'm saying? So we got our little dude right here. Make sure my light's looking strong. Turn that light up a notch. Okay, so I'm going to start top down on this. And this is like a big generalized highlight. We're not overthinking this. And we're going subtle. Just top down Zenthio highlight. Just try to catch all the tops of everything. I mean, like that simple. Now what we have is a lot more definition on this model. He's got some highlights. This is obviously not the last highlight we're going to do. It's just a good starting place. Same thing. You know, get your models out that are all the same. Assembly line them. Easy. Same deal right here. Nice and subtle. Nice. Keep it easy. I'm using a lot of air to water to paint ratio. That's how you kind of mitigate really watery paint. Is I just like slam dunking air and just pulling a little bit of paint into it. It dries almost instantaneously if you pull that method off. All right, I'm gonna let these guys sit here for just a second while that coat dries. I might go with a second coat. Let me check the stream. Everything looking good. Like I said, if you just jumped in, Please indicate to me if the volume levels are right, if the video's looking good, if it's too jittery, if you want to see more resolution next time. This is the first live stream, next level painting style. Also, if the Q&A is easy for you guys to use, that's great. If you guys want to hit me up on Facebook, anything else, Facebook Messenger, hit me up on well, obviously we have a page, but if you hit me up on my personal Facebook, Kenny Boucher, I pretty much accept all friends invites, and it's really easy to manage Q&As there too with my phone as I'm painting. But I can also periodically turn back behind me and use my computer monitor. Obviously, an evolving process, and thank you guys for bearing with it. All right, so I do feel that these guys look pretty good. So I'm gonna do one more light coat just to reinforce that highlight. Super easy. See, I'm not even getting that detail. This is where everyone gets they get it fucking twisted. They're all like, "Yo, I got this airbrush. It's got a .25 needle. It's so fucking detailed." And I was like, "Yeah, good luck, brother. When that shit clogs on you, fucking in 2 weeks." Like the thing is that you don't really want to go much smaller than a .3, .35 even, because like below that, that's for inks basically. That's not what airbrush artists don't really use airbrushes for miniatures. We use them for miniatures. So they run like really fine inks through those and shit. It'll clog on you. The Iwata Eclipse, I use a .35 needle. It's all stainless steel, designed to have heavy acrylics pushed through it, and the needle's not so small it's going to get clogged constantly. And as you can see, we're getting just fine results. It's just about knowing where you want to put where you want to put it. You know, like that simple. Okay, so here's the next stage. Next stage in the Gangster Gumbo. Also, I appreciate you guys following me. I'm getting these notifications. It's hilarious. I love it. Let me check the Q&As. Looking amazing, my man. Loving your Yo Dog Cam. That is from, I want to say, the Fred Effect. We got Jesuits coming in. Levels sound great to me. Thank you, my man. Got the Alfred Effect. Oh, it's the Alfred Effect. Nice. I'm imagining that's Alfie B. Yup, my boy Kyle Shouty coming in hot. Oh, the Badger clogs like a mofo. .2. That's what I'm fucking telling you, man. Alfie B, the IV in the house. So glad you guys tuned in. All right, let me show you guys next time. Let me recap what I've done for you guys. Let me turn this compressor off because let me know. How annoying, scale of 1 to 10, is the compressor happening right now? Let me know that. But in the meantime, I'll turn it off. So to recap, we started with Prussian blue. We 50-50'd it with blue-green. And now what I'm going to do is another extension of the Gangster Gumbo. And I'm going to take some white right here, right chon. And I'm going to take this white and I'm just going to drop it right in the mix and just lighten what we have. I'm going to shake this bitch up. And I'm sure this is something people are used to. All the paint getting stuck in that lid. And then I'm just going to drip it out of the lid. See what happens. Get in there. Get in there. So a couple drops of white for now. The trick when you're using white to highlight up is you can't just like jump to the extreme like white highlight. That is always a mistake. That is definitely not what you want to do. So just starting off with a little white, and you'll see we're going to stir it in there. It's lightening just a little bit. That's fine. Like I said, like the mistake people make with white, where they're like, "How come my white looks so speckled?" It's because they went from this color to white. Mistake. So we're gonna go very annoyingly slow here, bringing these stages up. Let me check the stream real quick because I'm going back and forth, obviously, between these technologies. I can barely hear the compressor. Can't even hear it. I'm so happy. Word. Headset. Clutch. Alright, so like I said, we went with the white here, and it's going to be almost unnoticeably a different color. Important to make sure that our tip is clear. Like I said, if you look in your tip, you'll see that like sometimes paint's going to be drying around the needle. Just wipe that shit off. Okay, so same deal. A little bit more close, a little bit more detail here. Like I said, it's a little lighter. Okay, I don't like this. I'm getting I don't have enough water up in here. So Pouring a little water back in the pot. Doing the gangster gumbo like we talked about. Gotta pull the needle back and forth. Get that shit going. Mainly because I took too long in the changeover. The paint started drying in there. But you can see just like that, we brought it back. Alright. So let's get this white in play. So just mainly on his head. I'm going to drop a little bit on his thighs. Real subtle, guys. Just real subtle. You don't want to fuck this up. Same deal. Making sure that our shit's clear right here. I might reposition the camera. More difficult to get the airbrush under it with this fucking cord. This might work better. Alright, same deal. Don't overthink it. Drop the white off. Nice, subtle. Mainly air. Work your trigger work here. Mostly air. Very little paint. Very little paint. Okay, now what we got here, guys, is a nice, fresh little, very subtle white highlight. Looking real subtle. That's what we want. Okay, next step. I'm going to take ancient Chinese technique right here, aka water bottle lid. Let me turn the light down so you can see the water bottle lid easier. Ancient Chinese technique right here. Going to dump some of this paint off into my water bottle lid. In case I need that, I'm going to set that aside. And kind of what we're left with is just a little bit of our mix in the pot. Let me wipe the drips up. And now we're going to throw more pure white up in this. Don't want to waste any of this delicious white sitting in the lid. I hate it when that happens. But we're gonna go heavier than that. So I'm gonna pour a little straight up in here. Gotta be careful, you don't want to go crazy. But I'm pretty sure we all experience the same problems in our individual Beats labs. So I got the white in there, squirt a little water in there, pull out our brush, stir that shit up. And you can see this is not efficient when you're working with 2 models. But if I had like 15 models laid out, we'd be mixing them, more in the pot. But that's why I can't really manage 15 models on the stream. So that's why I decided to work with 2. Not to mention quality control does go up with the fewer models you're working on at one time. So you got to find your own individual ratio. And this Infinity projects, I've honestly been doing like the airbrush stages in like batches of 10, but doing the paintbrush stages in 2 to 3 tops. So let's see. Oh, well, I wasted all that delicious white like I said I didn't want to. Let's see right here. Big old glob of white. So that's exactly what I was trying to avoid. White is precious. Gangster gumbo. Get that shit to percolate. Now I already can tell you that this is not the right mix. So I already can tell you I'm going to have to throw more water. I already tell you I'm going to have to throw more flow improver. Percolate that shit up again. Get that fucking needle backed out. I'm going to kind of like blow some through as I back the needle out. See, these are all the tricks right here, man. There we go. I'm feeling good about that. I'm going to wipe that shit off. I'm going to move the camera because I am struggling to capture this. Make sure everything's still in focus. Good enough. Now, before I start airbrush, I'm going to check the stream real quick, see what you guys are thinking. What kind of pressure am I using, Jesuits? Right now, I'm using the Iwata Silver Jet. Honestly, it's not as good as I would like it to be. I think max PSI is like in the 20s, but once I pull the trigger, it goes all the way down to 11. So I don't like it. I'd rather use like 20 PSI when I pull the trigger. All right, here we go, guys. This is where you want to get subtle. I'm going to get down to business right here. I'm going to get nice and close. Real subtle. Bringing that white in. Boom, just done. Top of the head. Moving over to the shoulder. Okay, I'm getting speckling. I'm going to stop right there. Don't fuck with it. Once the second you get speckling, I'll pull out like my paintbrush right here. I'm going to go in there and just kind of clean the tip off a little bit like that. Going to dry it out. My rag. Okay. We should be good. Back to the shoulder. Mainly air. Very little paint, guys. Very little paint. Just on the shoulders. Now I'm going to come to the kneecaps. Real subtle. Real subtle, like I was saying, man. Like, literally, the mistake that people make here is they just blast that white on. You got to go super subtle. You can see now our guy's glowing and shit. He looks like a baller. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to work on their fists, like right on their little hands. Real subtle. Real subtle. Surprisingly hard to talk to you guys while trying to concentrate. Okay, I don't like the speckling I'm getting. I'm going to stop right there. This is kind of some of the bitches we're working with white. So the tip isn't actually that dirty. It's just like we don't have enough liquid in here. So I'm just going to go heavy on the water real quick. Grab another paintbrush, a clean one, because my paint pot is dirty. I'm going to just stir this water around in here. We have a lot of flow improver in there, so I'm just going to keep adding water. If the flow improver hasn't done the job yet, it's not going to. Okay, I'm going to keep that paintbrush ready. Do the gangster gumbo, percolate that shit. Okay, let's see what we get here. Like I said, the second you see a tiny bit of speckling, you just stop. Stop and fix the problem. Or else you're going to be sad. Same deal, I'm going to the back of the calves, dropping a little white off there. I'm kind of keeping the white to the shoulders, not the middle of the back, because I want it to be special, you know, like it's like something's happening there, not just, we're just all brighter at the top, you know? Okay, so done with this guy. Move on to this guy. Same deal. Top of the head. Shoulder. Shoulder. Hands. Hands. Knees. Oh, yeah. I'm making a song out of this. Okay, we're looking good here. And now I'm going to show you guys another ancient Chinese technique after I'm done with this. And okay, so like here we go. We got this guy looking fresh. Now what I'm going to show you is, now hopefully we're still in focus. I'm going to check real quick how our focus looks. I'll talk to you guys while I'm doing it. We definitely try to maintain the highest level quality here, next level painting. If you guys don't see anything wrong, let me know. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to test focus. Okay, I feel good about that focus. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take ancient Chinese technique. Always clean the tip, says Rayos 813. You are not lying, my brother. Frago 10 says it's easy to paint wolfen like this, question mark. Oh yeah, man, it's easy to paint everything like this, my brother. Especially with GW. GW has got the details, like you can wash those, you can dry brush those, like so much fucking easier than an Infinity model. People like, okay, focus looks good. All right, so here's the ancient Chinese technique. Let me before I get too ahead of it. So like here we go. Here's all the waste I'm talking about. Since we're not using a shitload of paints, we've already got this mix that we saved. And I've got all this white shit right here that we're probably never going to use, unfortunately. Put it in the water bottle lid. I'm going to clean this pot out real quick, and it's real simple. I'm just going to wipe it out with a rag. And if you guys just bear with me for a second, I have a cleaning station at my feet. I have a whole video on this cleaning station called Airbrush Maintenance. Check it out on YouTube. What I'm doing right now, I cover in a fucking 10-minute video. But I am just quickly changing out the colors, and I'm already almost done. Okay, so I just got all the white out of the pot. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pour our original ancient Chinese technique savings back into this pot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go back to the midtone here on these dudes, on some of these white areas that I'm not happy with, and I'm just going to kind of like blend it back to the darker color, and you'll get a fun effect when you do it that way. Because now you have blue over white in some areas blending back, and that's a brighter blue. Same thing everywhere that the white is sort of touching, I'm coming back in and blending that blue back into it. And now you're gonna get a nice transition. This is an ancient technique. I call this the backshade technique, or the coming back in and doing the midtone. But yeah, you can see now we're getting a little bit more. This is literally exactly the same colors we used before. It's just looks brighter now, more electric, as it were. Same deal, blend it in. But 99% of these guys, 99% of what we're doing is going to come from paintbrushing, though. I'm not going to lie. This is all fun and games right now, but 5 fucking hours later, when I'm still fucking edge highlighting these motherfuckers, you know what I mean? Alright. So feeling good about that. So you can see all the electric blue popping off, looking super nice. And now what you can do is you can go to pure white if you want to. So what I'm doing is I'm going back to the cleaning station. Like I said, I got a whole YouTube video about my gangster cleaning station, how to change colors out quick. I might get a third cam in my operation at some point. I don't know if my computer can handle it. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the airbrush again, pour a little flow improver in there. Going to get a little bit of pure white back in there. Going to let it just dribble off of the lid. Boom, got a drop in there. Take our savings from earlier, pour a little bit back in. Take our paintbrush, stir it up. Get it a little bit brighter. And actually, I don't think I'm quite bright enough. I'm gonna pour some back out and pour another drop of pure white in there, because I'm gonna just drop one kind of final white blast on these guys. And this is, like I said, you can see how wasteful the paint is when we're just working on 2 models this way. But when we're working on, that's why you want to assembly line out your army. You want to say, I want to work on 50 Space Marines, get all the airbrushing on all 50 done before you start doing details, and then you can make the batches smaller for details. Okay, we're doing the backflow. Have to pull that needle out like we do, aka work the needle. Okay, we're definitely speckling. Flow improver. Water. You can see how much paint is in there to water. Like, we're like mainly water. It's kind of one of the ancient Chinese tricks. Okay, feeling good about that. So this is where we're going to pay really special attention. Get real close. See, I'm still speckling. Not happy with that. It means the tip is still not clean yet. You always got to clean the tip. Cleaning the tip right quick. Like we said, I'm just using a little brush. You can use a little toothbrush. You can use whatever you want, man. It's honestly, it's not fucking rocket science. Okay. Here we go. Just a little bit on the faceplate. Real subtle. Build it up. Just stay in one place. Boom. Now he's got like a nice little white face. I like that. Same deal right here. Just slowly build it up. And see, I'm clearing it off on my hand. That's why I wear the black gloves, so I can see what's happening. Okay, I like that. Same deal. Got the face all bright. Now I'm going to move into the shoulders real quick. Very quick. So now we got that nice little glow. Done. Same deal right here. Done. That simple, guys. We have a good base coat established here. I mean, you can spend all the time in the world going back and forth on these models with the dark paints back to the light paints. You know, maybe down here in the feet we can go back to the Prussian blue. But at the end of the day, I'm going to do so much work on these with the paintbrush that it's going to be insane. Let me turn this compressor off just real quick using my monkey toes. And so I'll show you guys a primary example of what I'm talking about here. So here's a model I just painted literally yesterday. Right here. So we used all the same exact fundamentals that you just saw on this guy. But yo, there's so much more going on than just airbrushing, right? And this is that philosophy I talk about. You get an airbrush, you save so much time with what we just did that the common mistake is be like, oh, well, I saved time, good to go. No, if you save 2 hours, that means you can put 2 hours back in on the detail stage. And so these guys, just so much detail painted back into them. Here's another guy I just painted yesterday. Here's, these guys are fun, these little robots right here. There's a lot of action on these. And this is like what I'm talking about, low fucking detail. But you see all the airbrush transitions, then the extra highlighting. Even had to paint some little vents back here, but it's almost no detail. You got to paint it with your paintbrush. I keep showing you guys some, like this Joan of Arc. This is a tough model to paint right here. So subtle, so small. But these are all the same techniques, like all this infinity stuff. Obviously, we did the Jotun on YouTube right here, and part 2 is going to drop on the Hall of Veterans. Or I think that it's already in the Hall of Veterans. I think part 2 is dropping this Friday. Literal best of all days. You know, so this is all the same technique, literally the same technique. And what I'll do in the next stream is I'll try to, you know, show you guys some of the details on these models right here, because I'm literally not going to sit here and paint all the hardcore shit just yet. First stream, I've notified Rob Bear that we need to get into a long war stream. It's going to be sick. But I'm also not set up for paintbrushing at this moment. That was all for airbrushing. I'm going to need to get a couple extension cords, be able to snake my arms through the setup, you know, get in here and shit like that. But I'll try to do more than one stream a week for sure, because this is actually not that difficult. So look forward to it. I'm thinking 11 a.m. is going to be my time. You know, obviously hit the follows, hit the subscribe. Let me look at the Q&A real quick, see what's going on. Answer some Q&As before I shut it down. We got anyone have by Frago 10? Anyone got any good recommendations for gear to get started? I'm brushing on airbrushing on a budget. My number one. Hold on a second. Just making sure no one answered me, because I say this a lot. All right, we're good. My number one thing to say to that: don't buy a cheap airbrush. Literally, fucking stupid. Don't do it, because it's gonna break, and you're gonna want to replace it. Once you get an airbrush, you're gonna realize it's what you should have had. You absolutely get what you pay for. There's no such thing as a starter airbrush. Just buy an Iwata Eclipse. Just do it. You know, we spend hundreds of dollars on our bullshit in this hobby. Just say, my next purchase is going to be an Iwata Eclipse. It's $180 for just a brush, but you can get bundles on TCBI Global for like $300 with a compressor, with the hose, with the airbrush, with paints, everything. You know, obviously we got a whole YouTube channel dedicated to using the Iwata Eclipse as your backup plan. I strongly recommend, don't budget airbrush, just save for an extra month, get the Eclipse. People saying this is awesome, man. Looking forward to the next stream. I appreciate that. Alfie B, thank you for checking it out. Zekin, man. Oh yeah, Zekin, are you a patron by any chance? What I'm gonna do, I'll try to. I might even set up another stream this afternoon. I don't know, like how I feel about it, but I do need to get set up for the detail painting, because that's what's coming next. I'm about to detail paint these mofos. So, also need to get an extension cord, because right now I only have one USB extension cord, so it's kind of ghetto right now. Yeah, we are in the new Beats lab. We are settled in. Everything's looking good. I am looking forward to doing more streams, and I'm definitely, after feeling this out, going to do more than one a week, like I said. I'll let you guys know on social media if I'm even going to do another one today, maybe later tonight. We do have the Long War webcast tonight. We do have the podcast recording tonight, so obviously don't forget to check those out. 8 p.m. Eastern, all the way up to possibly 10 p.m. Eastern, maybe even 11 p.m. because we do the after hours recording at the same time now. So if you don't know, now you know. Check out thelongword.net. Check out Next Level Painting online. Check out my Patreon page. All these things help me keep the lights on and got me to where I am today. And thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna end this stream and I'll let you guys know later.